The 20th century was the era, the American century, when America pulled itself back from this notion of oligarchy to an incredible extent, invented a middle class. The things President Biden was talking about in that first 9 minutes, those are the things that the 20th century built when we beat back the robber barons and beat back the trust and established an income tax, which didn't exist until the 20th century, established women's rights, civil rights, immigrant rights. That's the 20th century. And these oligarchs they've always been there. Who do you think was paying for, Rush Limbaugh? He was a very wealthy man. Fox is owned by an oligarch. Who do they think is funding the Ben Shapiro and other podcasts? The oligarchy's been hidden in the background the whole time. And Biden is this pivot president as America is hurtling towards sort of falling in love with these rich tech gods, these tech bros.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, I'm here with more evidence that the left has gone crazy. Yes, that's right. Evidence in the form of Joy Reid, who has taken some time away from her duties at MSNBC, MSDNC, and she seems to be pouring some more energy and time and effort into her podcast. Good on you, because we understand that independent media is the new media and is going to be the way forward. Good on you, Joy. Wish you the best of luck. But y'all, on MSNBC, she came out just the other day talking about oligarchs, of all things. Can you imagine? And she seemed to be casting aspersions on the right-leaning folks of America who voted resoundingly for Donald Trump. She says, oh, well, they're using oligarchs. Elon Musk is an oligarch. That seems to be the buzzword because we heard Joe Biden the other night in his farewell speech use that word. Was he signaling the left-wing media to come out and attach themselves to that word and cast aspersions on the right? Well, seems like Joy is falling in line and she's saying, well, the right is dependent on oligarchs. Has anyone heard of a man named George Soros, who's an oligarch himself? By definition, has been supporting the left for many years, many decades, has sought to destroy this country, in my opinion. Supporting voices like Joy Reid, supporting campaigns like Kamala Harris to the tune of over $2 billion last reported, that they set on fire in a devastating loss. But here we have Joy Reid, who is now trying to cast aspersions on the right to the point where she named Ben Shapiro in his podcast and said, well, he's supported by oligarchs. And y'all, boy, some people didn't take kindly to that. One person in particular was Ben's partner and CEO over there at the Daily Wire. He took to the X platform and expressed himself as a retort to Joy Reid. He responded, y'all, ain't nobody playing out here. Jeremy Bourne, on his X account, said, in which Joy Reid, who reportedly makes over $3 million a year, claims Ben Shapiro is funded by an oligarch, when in fact the company he helped create generated well over $200 million last year in advertising and subscription revenue, plus a few razor sales. Got to get that in there. They be hawking them razor blades over there at the Daily Wire, y'all. Joy Reid lives in such a bubble she doesn't know there is an actual audience for conservative ideas, and she is so economically illiterate. She doesn't know how value is created. Oh my gosh, shots fired, Mr. Boring. Oh my God. He continues, Daily Wire creates value and we're always working to create more. Still, if there are any oligarchs out there who would like to fund us, I can only say we may not be very good, but we're real expensive. I heard that, sir. Say that. I done had people, advertisers, approaching me lately, getting on my nerves, really. But I have a message for all of them. Yeah, I'm good, but I ain't cheap. Joy Reid seems to be coming into a new era post-election. She's coming into a new understanding. She knows that things are going to be different, just like we all know things are going to be different. And if you're on the right side of things, we anticipate the difference. But here Joy Reid is not only blaming oligarchs because she can't come to the realization that nobody is buying what the left is selling. No, not just that. No, she's saying y'all cheated. Well, wasn't too long ago where the right side thought the left had cheated, and boy, did the right have evidence. Video evidence of pollsters, poll workers, election staff repeatedly passing through ballots. Ballots submitted with incorrect, invalid addresses. Oh, there was evidence. Even down there in Georgia, there was one particular county that was by law required to hold on to those ballots post-election. And you know what they did? They shredded them. They got rid of the evidence. There were plenty of questions to go around in the 2020 election, but even on platforms like this, y'all, there was a time when you would be penalized, you would be banned, you would be blocked for even mentioning such a thing as cheating in the election. But here is Joy Reid, y'all, in 2025, casting these aspersions on her podcast, and she's saying, y'all right-wingers, y'all cheated. And she means it. And I think she's crazy enough to believe it.
Talking about like stealing an election.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's making me rethink whether I do believe like election machines can be hacked. Because I've always been like, you can't hack the election machines, but they're like convincing me, I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, to me, in this world, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
There are all these conspiracy theories out there about Trump and whether or not they cheated. I know you say that they didn't, but I know you kind of have
wait
to
a minute.
say
I
that.
didn't say they didn't. What I said is there is a rational explanation for why Kamala Harris could have lost those swing states and Trump won them. There's a way you can get to those numbers with people staying home or only voting for Trump and not the rest of the ballot. I'm saying there's a history of that. However,
let me hear it, because
what I will say is there was absolute voter suppression that took place, and I consider that cheating. If you think about the voter law in your state of Georgia, that law is anti-voter. When you have bomb threats only in Fulton County, we don't know how many people stayed home out of fear because of the bomb threats in Fulton County. When you have Elon Musk waving around $1 million checks in order for people to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many things that were done that were nefarious, to put aside just the actual voter suppression in these anti-voter laws that kept people from registering, that messed up people's voter registration when they showed up and all of a sudden they're not on the rolls.
But that happens every year, right? That happens
every
all
election.
the time.
So yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
talking about are these conspiracy theories about Elon Musk, somehow using his tech connections, because I don't want to say genius, because we know he's not.
Yeah, he ain't a genius.
But those relationships or whatever, because they just seem too confident. And I know, and I'm not saying it was the voting machines or whatever. It just doesn't add up to me with all the support that she had. And I know that for you, and because of what happened with Fox and because what you do professionally with the network, you can't say it was the machines or something like that. But if you think it was the machines, but you can't say, just don't say anything. See, this is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is,
no, I know.
There are many ways to cheat in an election. And I don't ever put it past Republicans to cheat in elections because they've been busted too many times.
And therein lies the difference, y'all. If you are on the right side of things, even if you're an independent, a registered independent like myself, but right-leaning, you understand. When the left wins, whether they cheat or not, even if you believe they cheat, you still sit here for 4 years. You take it on the chin. You take the abuse. You take the abuse to our children. You take the abuse to our culture. You take whatever the left has to dish out and you sit here and you wait and you pray and you hope for better days. That's not how the left reacts. That's not how they're going to react to this election. If you thought that the next 4 years was going to be easy, smooth sailing, I got an orange bridge in San Francisco to sell you, because it's going to be anything but easy. It's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be difficult for the administration. Why? Well, that's the difference, y'all. When the right loses, they sit there and they take it. When the left loses, they show out. Yeah, I saw in a Senate confirmation hearing the other day, someone was represented and protesting in the Senate hearing from Code Pink. We ain't heard from them in a whole minute. Where y'all been? I wouldn't be surprised if Black Lives Matter pop up and get Black Lives Matter 2.0. We don't know what iteration this Democrat rage is going to take, but we know that they react differently than the conservative side. That's what I don't like about Republicans, and that's why I'm not a Republican, because when the Republicans get in power, they tend to be soft, marshmallow soft. Oh, we got to do it this way and that way, and be upstanding and particular about how we react and respond. When the Democrats get in power, yo, they burn it down. No holds barred, ain't no rules. They slap Republicans around in Washington, D.C. incessantly. Seem like Republicans can't fight. Where's the manhood in the Republican Party? Oh, I know, we just elected them. They're coming back into power. It's going to be a different day for this country. Okay, well, we got a lot to deal with in this country, with the left, with the enemy within and the enemy without. Y'all, we have external threats to this country and we have internal threats. I was glad to see that they have moved the inauguration indoors. I like the fact that they tried to spin it in the news and say, oh, it's going to be too cold. Hey, look, we got people who live in the cold. We got people who are used to the cold. We got people willing to endure the cold for a ceremony like this, but y'all moved it indoors. In my opinion, for other reasons, for reasons that might be nefariously lurking, looking for an opportunity to sabotage. We pray for our president because we know this is going to be a trying time, even though it's going to make America greater again in the process. But that process is going to be tumultuous, y'all. Y'all better stay prayed up. It's going to be crazy in 2025 and beyond. Listen. I'm just predicting. I'm crazy enough to get on this internet and predict. It's not going to be crazy for the next 4 years. It's going to be crazy for the next 12 years because we got 4 years of Donald Trump. God bless him to make it. Then we got 8 years of J.D. Vance. Then we'll see what happens after that. Who steps up? Who's ready to uphold the ideals of this country and push us forward? But I think these Democrats have injured themselves to the point that the next generation is going to see them for what they are and reject the things that they have stood for over the last 4 years, the things that right-leaning Americans have endured. But we didn't just endure, y'all. We weren't just sitting here on our hands. We were praying for a better day. And it seems like that better day has come. So many people are celebrating right now, saying God answered America's prayers. I'm one of those people. But I understand as these people come out here and they throw out buzzwords like oligarchs, I understand the oligarchs are the ones who paid Hunter Biden so he could give 10% to the big guy. Yeah, we couldn't talk about those things years ago, but here we are in 2025 and photos are coming out where Joe Biden is in China introducing Hunter Biden to Xi Jinping. Why would you do that if there weren't nefarious motives? And then it all begins to make sense and you say, well, this is why Joe Biden was so soft on China. Yeah, TikTok is a big thing all over the media right now because they're about to shut it down. Well, Joe Biden was okay with TikTok invading America, spying on Americans. Joe Biden was okay with all of that. Or maybe the people in Joe Biden's administration because we know he was somewhere taking a nap after licking on his ice cream cone. But here we are with a new day, y'all, and the left seems to be arming themselves for a fight. No, it's not going to be easy. You got people like here, voices out here like Joy Reid, who's going to come out and cast aspersions. Who's going to have Ben Shapiro out here taking strays because she decides to get out here and bump her Congolese gums all on the internet. It's all right, Joy. It's a free country. Do your thing because there's an uprising of people on the other side who are coming to the realization the scales are being pulled off their eyes and they're realizing who the real enemy is. Well, y'all, that enemy has allowed millions upon millions of other enemies into this country. It's not going to be so easy to get them out. It's not going to be so easy to take corrective action, and you're not going to be able to depend on your government solely to get the job done. So I suggest to all of you out there under the sound of my voice that you take precautions. to protect yourself, to protect your family, your communities, your loved ones. Yes. Don't just sit back on your hands. It's time to take action. Because if America is going to be great again, it's not going to be an orange man in the White House that does it. It's going to be policies put in place from Washington, D.C., but it's going to take you and I to implement these things in our communities. What y'all think about that? Joy Reid out here talking crazy. But you and I know that she's been crazy. It's just that now she's leaning into her podcast, trying to distance herself from MSNBC, voluntarily or forcibly, doesn't matter. She still wants to have a voice in the political arena. Okay. Say what you gotta say, lady. But you ain't bigger than the God we serve. We know who controls the heavens and the earth. Say what you say. Do what you will. America is going to be great, whether you like it or not. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.